We are looking at the top free agents entering this offseason. And next up, we got Aaron Jones from the Minnesota Vikings. AQ, what do you like about Aaron Jones?
I actually really like Aaron Jones as a football player. I thought he was an absolute stud in Green Bay. I just didn't see the same player that I saw in Green Bay this year in Minnesota. And I think it speaks to the position of running back. And this is why so many teams are scared of running backs, because it's the one position. Think about it as an offensive lineman, right? As you get older, you get more vet tricks in your bag. You get more savvy with some of your stuff. You may not be as physically gifted, and you're a lot more worn down. You've had a couple surgeries, but you figure out a different way to play the game. Receivers, the same thing, right? Quarterbacks, you might have to change your game a little bit. Running back, there's no hiding from it. You lose a step as a running back, or you're taking too many hits, and now maybe it's like, God, I don't want to go into that 6'7", 390-pound defensive tackle. I think running back is the one position where it's like, there's not just like a tiny drop off. Running backs go on trajectory, boom, and then they fall off a cliff. And then it's like, okay, where are we? Ezekiel Elliott's a prime example, right? Boom, 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 boom. And then he's a 5-flat 40, and it's like, how do we get this guy on the field? Like, I think, I'm not saying Aaron Jones is that guy, but I think once you lose a step, now you just become a guy. And when you become just a guy, now you're a number two. And when you're a number two, you can't command top dollar anymore.
Colt, when I look at this free agency class at running back, I'm going to read some names to you. And just for me, it's like, who else is out there? Is there no one else? I mean, Aaron Jones is probably the number one guy. Maybe Najee Harris could probably be up there. He had a good year. Then it's Jeff Wilson, A.J. Dillon, Nick Chubb coming off injury. Obviously not Nick Chubb healthy. Javonte Williams, Alexander Madison. So I'm just wondering, in terms of the free agency class, there is no Derrick Henry. There is no Saquon Barkley. Will Aaron Jones benefit from kind of being the one guy out there?
Yeah, I think so. I thought he had a pretty decent year in Minnesota. He's a fun player to watch. Like, his balance at contact is ridiculous. Like, his burst, his quickness, like sometimes you think he's down and he'll just like jump and extend and get 3 or 4 more. Like, he's that kind of guy. You know, he can plug and play at any 32 teams across the league. What is his market going to be? Like, I mean, I do think he's probably the best one going into free agency. So like that will be a huge bonus for him. He's going into free agency at a good time. I still think he's a really good football player. I think there'll be a good market for him. And I just like watching him play. I like his toughness. I like his balance. I like the ability for him to like maybe turn into a little bit more of a third down back. Like, there's still value in that on a lot of different teams. So we'll certainly see. But man, Aaron Jones is a phenomenal football player.
I think there was a little bit of a resurgence last year amongst the running backs. Hey, as you get older, you can still produce at a high level. I think that market, you look at Raheem Mostert, who's a guy that went down to Miami and he found a lot of success there, making $5, $6, $7 million a year, what he was making right now. I think that probably is where he lands. But Jay, if I came to you and said, hey, coach, I got a 30-year-old running back that I'm sending your way, internally, how do those conversations go in the coaching? Like, are you guys ecstatic about getting a 30-year-old?
I wouldn't say ecstatic. Depends on who it is. Obviously, we got the tail end of Adrian Peterson's career, and he was pretty good for a year. Wasn't quite the same AP. That's a Hall of Fame AP, but he still had some juice and some strength and some power, no doubt about it. Aaron Jones is a different cat now. I think the key for him, to me, is his versatility. Somebody like Sean Payton might be interested because he's always used to having a Darren Sproles, a Pierre Thomas, a Alvin Kamara. I'm not putting him in that category, more like Pierre Thomas than those other guys, but he needs somebody out of the backfield that can run some option routes, and that's what Aaron Jones can still do. If you can use him as a 50-50 type guy, you got your bell cow, and then you got Aaron Jones as your change of pace guy, 1-2, like a Montgomery Gibbs. If he's one of the other guys, I don't want Aaron Jones to be my full-time back now. No. He needs to be part of a group. You know what I mean? So, yes, he would excite me in that regard. I think the Minnesota's got to re-sign him. All I have is Cam Akers and Ty Chandler. I think they're both free agents. So I would think Minnesota will try to re-sign him. But if not, I think there'll still be a market for him.
All right, well, you let it off. I'll let you broke the ice. You think he ends up back in Minnesota, and that's your prediction.
Yeah, Minnesota or Denver. Yeah.
Minnesota or Denver. Oh, you mentioned Sean Payton in there too. All right, Colt, are there any teams that stick out to you for Aaron Jones?
Yeah, I'm with Jay. I think Minnesota definitely will be like number one on the list. Like, they got $64 million in cap space. I don't think Aaron Jones is going to demand like a really high number. And I think he makes a whole lot of sense for what Kevin O'Connell wants to do. They'll probably bring in somebody else in there, draft somebody everybody, but he's also a guy that you want in your room. He's played a lot of football. Like, he's an extension of the running back coach. He's seen all the blitzes. He knows what the protections are. He can wear a lot of hats and is a good locker room guy, a good piece to your team that you can count on. Played in big games, right? Showed up in big games, especially in Green Bay. I think Minnesota is going to be the place for him, but I also like the Raiders. The Raiders need some pieces on offense. They talk about cap space. The Raiders got cap space, and bringing in a guy like Aaron Jones could be beneficial. You're going to have probably a new quarterback. Having a guy like him that's stable, you can catch 4 or 5 passes a game out of the backfield, like get you yards when you need them. I mean, those two teams make the most sense to me.
AQ, Aaron Jones, where's he going?
I would like to see Aaron Jones go to a place where he is a 1A, 1B. I would like to see a Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery type of role for him, where he's not the feature back, but he still gives enough of a presence. So for me, it's the Atlanta Falcons. I would love to see him paired with a Bijan Robinson. It gives you more of a third down sense, still gives you enough carries where Bijan obviously is going to be the feature, but you'll still get enough value and enough productivity out of an Aaron Jones.
All right, Aaron Jones. We will see where he ends up. But I'll tell you this, guys, if you like inside info and what the pros know, make sure you're following along. Where do you think Aaron Jones ends up? Drop that in the comments. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, following along. We're going to have free agency content, combine, draft, the whole 9. Don't go anywhere.
In football, every game means more during the playoffs, and you can start your own personal playoffs on Underdog, where you could cash in on touchdowns, interceptions, yards, or more. All you have to do is pick higher or lower, and you could take home up to 1,000 times your money if you get your picks right. It's that simple. Millions of fans have already won billions of dollars making picks. Sign up for Underdog today using promo code POCKET, capital POCKET, and you'll get a free pick as a part of your first cash entry plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. Again, that's promo code POCKET.